Welcome to our weekly program, Inside Story of Chabad in America through the Mindel Archives. Today is Tes Ador. Tes Ador is the day that the Frierdiker Rebbe finally came to America to settle. Because he came to America as a visit in 1929. But 1940 he came to America to settle. I mentioned a couple of times that the Frierdiker Rebbe, this was in 1940, it was the war time, and the Frierdiker Rebbe was in Riga, and he took a plane, a small plane, 17 passenger, that plane went to Sweden, and Sweden he took a boat to America, and he was on the ship 13 days. Now, he had with him manuscripts that he had it on his lap. He didn't leave go with that. Rabbi Mindel said he was on that plane with him. He was holding it the whole time. He had with him, he went with his wife, the Rebbetzin Medina, also Rashag, and his wife, the Frierdiker Rebbe's daughter, Chane. Also, Berke went. Shtene Sore, the Frierdiker Rebbe's mother was there. Manya was there, the nurse of Rebbe Shtene Sore, and Chaim Lieberman was there. Rabbi Chadakov and his wife, and Rabbi Mindel. That's all, 11 people. Rabbi Mindel's wife left earlier because she was afraid to stay the war. So the Frierdiker Rebbe said she can go, but her husband, Rabbi Mindel, he wanted that he should stay with the Frierdiker Rebbe. And then later on, when he came to America, he picked her up from England. So there were 11 people. So there was a few seats, 6 seats left. The Frierdiker Rebbe said, I cannot leave. It's the wartime. I cannot leave. I need to save whatever seats there are empty. We should fill it up. And they filled up those other seats, and they went to Sweden. The trip was a very, very hard trip for the Frierdiker Rebbe. He wasn't feeling well. He wasn't well bichlal. And Rebbe Shtene Sore knows that he's coming to America. And America, we know what America is. It was a very hard journey, and she had Rachmanis on her son. So that ship, here is the name of the ship. That I'll show you the name of all the people that were on that ship, and about the people that were there when they came to America. That's another program that I'm not going to say now. But there's a whole story about them and their children, what happened to them later, because they did see the Frierdiker Rebbe on the boat, but that's something that I don't want to discuss now. So the Frierdiker Rebbe came to America. Those days, America was a midbar shmamo. It was a desert, in the spiritual sense. People didn't want to come here. It was called a Treifa Medina. And as a matter of fact, the Frierdiker Rebbe also had questions whether he should come to America. But he did come to America. America then was Verim Dike Rabbonim. The Frierdiker Rebbe called the rabbis worm rabbis. They gave hashgacha on Treifa meat. The Talmud Teres were apikursim Talmud Teres. The Frierdiker Rebbe wrote about it. The Shmira Shabbos, people couldn't keep Shabbos those days. If you had a job, Friday, if you didn't come Shabbos, they gave you a pink slip. And so people push it. It was and the Frierdiker Rebbe came, and he said to Rabbi Chadakov and Rabbi Mindel, we're coming to America. America is Amreko, an empty nation. America is a shtik ice, a piece of ice. And we're coming to break the ice of America. And that's when he asked Rabbi Mindel, should he put in a shtreimel? He told him yes. So, I mean, it was terrible America those days. And he came to such a land. And by the way, I think I mentioned to you once that I heard this from this person's daughter, that her father got pink slips. And so Sukkot, he had hundreds of pink slips, so he decorated the Sukkah. So when people came in, the whole decoration was those pink slips to show what was then. Al Kaponim. The Frierdiker Rebbe came, he had no money. So he went to Greyston Hotel with the 11 people. There were some well-to-do people that paid for that. Now, how did they get the money to that? So here I have a letter from the Frierdiker Rebbe that from Tofrei Tzadik Tes in Atvotsk, 1939, that people here, Stillman, made a Melava Malka before the Frierdiker Rebbe came at the Jewish Center. This was the Rabbi Young's shul, I think, and this is for the Frierdiker Rebbe. Here, it's a letter that he thanked the Frierdiker Rebbe, thanked them for the Melava Malka. So they had some money to take him to the Greyston Hotel. After a month or two, those people, Stillman and the Kramer brothers and more, decided we have to have another Melava Malka, another dinner for the Rebbe. The Rebbe needs money. He came to America. He wants to build Chabad. He needs money. So they decided to make a Melava Malka. Another Melava Malka. Our Rebbe was not in America yet, because our Rebbe came in 1941 in Sivan. So they had a Melava Malka. My father, Rabbi Mindel, wheeled in the Frierdiker Rebbe. It wasn't well. He was in a wheelchair. So after Shabbos, they wheeled him into the Manhattan into shul. They had a kitchen. He was waiting in the kitchen. Rebbetzin Stern Soder was also there, and Rabbi Mindel was there, and they made and the people were getting ready to Melava Malka. They got ready. They said to Rabbi Mindel, tell the Rebbe that we're ready for him to come to the to come out to the dinner. I don't know how many people they were there, maybe 100, 120. But tell the Rebbe we have a program. Show the Rebbe, tell the Rebbe the program. So they gave him the piece of paper, and he took the program, and he went to the kitchen, told the Frierdiker Rebbe that they're all ready and they have a program. So the Frierdiker Rebbe said to Rabbi Mindel, read the program. The first thing on the program is a song, a niggin, a Zionist song. It doesn't say a tikva, before tikva, it doesn't say. It's a Zionist song. So the Frierdiker Rebbe stopped and said to him, Dem niggin that we need singen. This song they're not going to sing. Now, Rebbetzin Stern Soder was shocked. Here people are trying to help her, to help the Rebbe, to build Chabad. And he's telling them that we're not going to sing. This was important. Before a dinner, this was their minhag. This was the custom to sing a Zionist song. But she's not going to. Her son said. So Rabbi Mindel went back to the people, and he told them that the Rebbe said that song we can't sing. They were shocked. So they said to Rabbi Mindel, tell the Rebbe that we're going to go home. This is our minhag, this is our custom. So he went back to the Frierdiker Rebbe, and he said to the Rebbe that they said they're going to walk home if we don't sing the song. So the Rebbe said, Zog sei, sollen sie gehen Gesundheit. Als wie der Rebbe ist gewähnt mit uns in Europe, Azei v'tazai mituns in America. Tell them they should go home and be well. Just like God was with us in Europe, God will be with us in America. So he went and he told him that what the Rebbe said. Many of them, took the coats and they left. They didn't stay. Okay, didn't stay. He went back to the Rebbe, and only a few people were left. He wheeled in the Rebbe to the dinner. They didn't make much money because most of them left. But the few people that stayed, they made a few dollars. That's all. The Starkeit for Rebbe. The Starkeit. A Zionist song he didn't want to sing. This was before the Medinas Yisrael. I don't know. Anyways, years later, probably in 1947, 48, when Baruch Hashem Chabad started, and it started from this Malava Malki, I guess, because this Malava Malki was the beginning of a few dollars to build. So they had some in 70, Rashag, but they bought the building some in 70. They had already Bachrim learning there in 48, 49. They had Bachrim, the Rebbe was here already. So it came from these people, came the money to buy some in 70. So a few of the people that remained at the Malava Malke, Stillman, the brothers, the Kramer brothers, and more. Anyways, so two people, Stillman, I think, and one of the Kramer brothers, I'm not sure, came to the Frierdiker Rebbe and said, can we go and see 770? We want to see how we never saw, we gave money, but Frierdiker Rebbe said yes. So they went to see 770, they looked around. Unfortunately, they didn't like what they saw, certain things. They were Balabatisha people, they saw Bachrim eating, they're sitting on a milk box. You sit on a chair and you eat. Bachrim, let's say, they took with their hands and you have to eat with a fork. And they saw, tzitzis has to be white. But black tzitzis, Bachrim, walking around, they didn't like what they saw, the cleanliness so much. So they went back to the Frierdiker Rebbe and they told him what they saw. So the Frierdiker Rebbe says, go to my son-in-law, our Rebbe, he was called then the Ramash. Go to him and tell him what you saw. They went to the Ramash, to the Rebbe, and they told him. The Rebbe got very serious, and the Rebbe said, cleanliness is number one in Shulchan Aruch. A Jew has to be clean. And he said he will speak to the Hanahola, to the Rosh Yeshiva, that to see that the Bachrim are eaten with a fork, they sit on a chair, and other things that they saw. But the Rebbe asked him, tell me, were you ever in a place where they make glass, crystal? They said no. So the Rebbe said, if you go to a place like that, you'll see people walking around, it's a factory, walking around with band-aids, with aprons, and it's not that clean. But when that glass is ready, and you put it in a store in the front, and you write $10, those days was a lot of money. Would you ever believe that comes from this factory? So the money that you give, the Rebbe says, is when this Bachrim, they get married, and they go out into the world, and they have families and children, and they raise the children according to Torah mitzvahs, and all comes from this factory. This is where your money goes. And these people were very, very happy to hear what the Rebbe said. And this is what I wanted to share with you. Today is Tes Adar, and this is when the Rebbe came to America. Here is a letter that I have. This is a letter, it was written Ches Shvat Tov Shin Yud, 2 days before the Istalkus, before the Frierdiker Rebbe passed away, before the Istalkus, the Frierdiker Rebbe signed. I think this was the last letter that he signed. This is a letter to Teimchet Mimim. Here, this is a Stillman. Stillman was one of the people he was a big supporter of the Rebbe, and we spoke about him once. He was one of the people that gave money, that he was visiting 770 those days. Now, before I finish, I just want to mention, last week I forgot to tell you that I told you the story of the Baal Shem Tov, a handwritten story, but before the story, the Frierdiker Rebbe told Rabbi Mindel, and maybe he wrote it down in the Shmuz, and I'm not sure, that parents, in order to have nachas from the children, they should make sure that parents should say Baruch Hu and Kedusha all the time. That the children should know that when it comes to Baruch Hu and Kedusha, they should have the children next to the parents. The parents should say Baruch Hu and Kedusha. Also, the parents should teach the children to kiss the mezuzah when they come in. And also, even a young born child should have a yarmulke. And make sure that children from the time, maybe they're a year old, they should also wash nagelwasser. The mother and the father should see they should wash nagelwasser. And this will give the parents will have a bracha. This he told him before he gave him the story that I read you last week. Next week we'll continue our weekly program. Thank you.